All right, let's get right into a really confusing and honestly pretty painful human experience. We're going to talk about why we sometimes push people away at the exact moment we need them the most. It's a paradox that so many of us go through.
I mean, really think about it. Have you ever had that feeling where you desperately need support? You need someone close, but instead you find yourself picking a fight or just shutting down completely? If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. And there's a really deep reason why this happens.
So this is the internal conflict, right? On one side, you have what you want, connection, support, feeling close to someone. But on the other side, what you actually do is the total opposite. You create distance, you isolate yourself. This push-pull isn't some kind of personal flaw. It's actually a signal. It's your system trying to tell you something really important. Let's figure out what that is.
To really get this, we have to look backwards. Because the root cause of this behavior usually has nothing to do with the person in front of you right now. It's all about a time in the past when getting close to someone just wasn't safe. And the key concept here is something called betrayal trauma. Now, this is not just any bad experience. This is specific. It happens when the very people you depended on to survive, the ones who are supposed to keep you safe, are the ones who break your trust. Think about a parent who was supposed to protect you but was actually the source of fear. Or a partner you opened up to who then used your vulnerability against you. So when a betrayal like that happens, your brain learns a lesson, a really powerful primal lesson. It doesn't just think, ouch, that hurt. No, it fundamentally rewires itself. It creates this deep automatic association that says intimacy, vulnerability, depending on someone, that stuff is dangerous.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's not a logical choice you're making. It's your nervous system, your body's alarm system, screaming, danger. You consciously want the connection, but subconsciously, your body is hitting the emergency brake because it remembers when getting close meant getting hurt.
Okay, so if your nervous system sees closeness as a threat, what does it do to protect you? Well, this leads us to a really great way to think about it. Imagine this pushing away behavior is like an automatic safety switch. And this is such a crucial shift in how we see this. The act of creating distance, it's not about rejecting the other person. It's an instinct. It's a mechanism that flips on to shut down what feels like a threat and get back to feeling safe. So let's look at how this switch gets flipped.
Okay, so it all starts with a trigger, and that trigger is usually a moment of closeness. It could be a really deep conversation, a hug, a moment where you realize you're starting to really depend on someone. It's any point where you start to feel vulnerable.
Now, to a nervous system that's been shaped by betrayal trauma, that feeling of vulnerability doesn't feel good and cozy. It feels like danger. So boom, an old fear alarm starts blaring inside. Even if the person you're with now is the safest, most trustworthy person on the planet, your brain can't tell the difference in that moment.
And as soon as that alarm goes off, this safety protocol just kicks in. It's automatic. Step one is to create distance. You might pull away, start an argument over something small, or just go completely silent. And the goal, the subconscious goal, is always step two, regain control by getting back to the safety of being alone.
And this is the most important part to remember. This whole thing happens on autopilot. It is a deep, protective reflex. It is not a conscious, calculated decision to hurt your partner or friend. It's an involuntary response that is all about self-preservation.
So let's tie this all together now, because once you understand this pattern, you can start to look at this whole dynamic with so much more compassion, whether you're the one doing it or you're on the receiving end. Let's just quickly run through the big takeaways here. Number one, and this is the big one, it's a trauma response. It is not a rejection of love. Number two, closeness itself can accidentally trigger that feeling of being in danger. 3, creating distance isn't mean, it's a defense mechanism to feel safe again. And finally, remember this push-pull is a sign of an old wound that needs healing, not some character flaw you have today. Now, if you've ever been the one that gets pushed away, this idea right here is so important to hear. When someone does this, it is almost never about you or your worth. It's all about their own internal war between their genuine need for you and their deep-seated fear of what closeness might mean. And really, this is the most powerful shift we can make. It lets us reframe the whole story. We can move away from thinking, they don't care about me, and move towards a much more compassionate and, frankly, more accurate understanding. They are scared.
So we end on this question. If this baffling behavior isn't actually about a lack of love, then what is it about? It's about safety. It's about a nervous system working overtime, trying its absolute best to protect someone from a pain they've felt before. And understanding that, well, that changes everything.